If I could go back in time and whisper into 16-year-old me's ear that like, hey, you're going to become like a cheerleading marketing professional and you're going to work with one of the largest cheerleading franchises in Canada, if not the world, and you're going to become an employee for them and you're going to be like head of marketing. I think that 16-year-old Sarah would probably pass out and hit the floor. Like,
Welcome back to After the Routine. I'm your host, Rochelle Provo, and I'm here with the incredibly creative Sara Walsh. Sara is the owner of SW Marketing and Creative Designs, where she specializes in social media strategy, branding, live event coverage that helps gyms and events stand out both on and off the competition floor. And she is also the social media and marketing manager for the Cheer Sport Sharks, who are, of course, legends in the Canadian cheer world. She has spent over 15 years in the cheer world and now gets to combine her love of the sport with marketing, content creation, and helping brands grow. So thank you so much for being here with me today, Sara.
thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I am too. So I like to start off with, can you tell us more about how you got into the sport of cheerleading?
My goodness, yes. Okay, so I come from a town in Alberta called Red Deer. It's right between Edmonton and Calgary. And when I was like 13 years old, I saw this booth at a farmer's market for cheerleading and immediately fell in love, joined the sport. Now, bear in mind, I started when I was 13, could not even do a forwards roll at that point, like completely bare minimum. So just fell in love with the sport. I really have always had a passion for like leadership and that kind of stuff. So as soon as I could, I put my resume in to become a CIT junior coach and started junior coaching and continued coaching and being an athlete for many, many years. So, and I just fell in love. Like, I just love cheerleading. It's the best sport. I've done dance, I've done other things growing up, but there was nothing that grabbed my heart with such a chokehold and passion than all-star cheerleading. So I'm super grateful to be able to continue to be affiliated with the sport, even in various different ways and different roles. And it's just great. It's like, it's my passion and it's now like my daughter's passion. And it's been so great. So basically I started off as an athlete, jumped into coach, and then I've kind of had some various roles as well over my time. So I've been a part of like event production staff, and then of course I started my journey with like marketing and design as well. So that's kind of how I got started in cheerleading.
I love that. I'm the same. I started late too. I started in scholastic cheerleading at 14. And
Okay.
I didn't get into all-star cheerleading until I was like 24 or 25.
Wow,
And
you go, girl.
I like to say, I'm like, I didn't learn a back roll until I was 25. Like, that is the hardest skill I learned.
No, absolutely
Forget like
it is.
yeah, forget like a high to high or like a 1.5. The back roll, hardest thing ever.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Goodness.
So at what point, now you had so many rules of these things. So at what point were you like, this is the thing that I want to stick with, and this is the thing that like I love? Like, what made that kind of like click in your brain?
In terms of marketing and design, so it kind of just fell into my lap. So I'm super grateful for the connections I have here in Red Deer. The owner of Premier Academy Red Deer, Rihanna Luck, has been a friend, a mentor of mine for many, many years. And it kind of started off, I was going to have a baby. I was on maternity leave and I was so used to being so busy all the time and wanted to stay connected in the gym, but knew that at that point in time, my commitment to being a coach and being able to continue as a full-time staff member was obviously not going to be a thing because I was going to have a baby. So she had kind of said, hey, maybe I do have an idea of something that you can do at home. What would you like to do the Facebook page? And I was like,
Yeah.
Sure. Like I was super excited. And back then when I first said yes, I had zero idea of like, I thought of it just as posting on Facebook. I didn't think of it in terms of, strategy and the various different things that go into it. So she had kind of given me this platform. I started off, and I really just gained like, I loved it. I loved being able to represent the brand. I loved being able to do storytelling and advertising online. And from there, I really dove in. So I started off super green. Once I realized kind of the scope of it and that it really wasn't just posting on Facebook every day, something random, that there is things that go behind it. I attended a ton of conferences. I did a ton of marketing classes. I did, various mentorships through other marketing agencies and that kind of stuff. And I really took that into my role into Premier Academy and then kind of became their overall head marketing manager. And something cool that Premier Academy has done in Alberta is they not only have a location in Red Deer, but they also have locations in Fort McMurray and Bonnyville. So at that time, as my role kind of evolved, I was then overall head marketing manager for the Premier Academy brand in itself. So it really evolved over time. And I found myself, I was managing multiple Instagrams, multiple Facebooks, email marketing, print marketing designs, that kind of stuff. And it was just really, really great. And I loved it so much. And I still to this day, like my daughter cheers at Premier Academy and I still have deep roots and deep connections with them. I'll always have a love for them and a love for Rihanna because she really kind of pushed me into this professional that I am today. So that's kind of how I got started. And then from there, after I did, some more courses and classes, I was like, hey, like, this is great, but I would really love to kind of start my own thing. Would love to be able to
Yeah.
put like my face on the brand and be able to reach out. So from there, like, I guess I should say, I also within that realm started working with Double Up Cheer Productions, doing live event coverage. And I mean, like, who doesn't want to hang out at a cheer competition all day? Like I did. I loved it. Like give me a 14-hour day at a cheer competition. Yeah, I'll be tired for like a week after, but I love every second of it.
Yeah.
So I was doing that for the gyms. I was doing the event marketing and I also did some time with Next Generation Gym Owners as their social media manager. Spoke at some conferences of theirs regarding social media and marketing. And yeah, I just really fell in love with the community and the storytelling of the sport. And it's really evolved over the years. And I'm super proud of everything that I have done in the past and everything I continue to, work on currently and in the future. So I've always had a love for creating, designing, and capturing those moments. Like emotional storytelling is my forte. I love it. I really saw that there was a gap in the industry for like high quality, consistent marketing. We're very niche in cheerleading to where you can hire a marketing agency to do your brand marketing and your online marketing and your email marketing, but they don't maybe know what goes into it and they don't know the passion and they don't know like the core values and that kind of stuff. So I found that there was this gap in this niche that I could fill. So I decided, hey, I'm going to fill it. So that's kind of how I started my business, SW Marketing and Creative Designs. And the focus for me really at the start was social media, graphic design, and then event coverage. So, and my goal was to help gyms, look as amazing online as they are in purpose and really go back to that emotional storytelling and that brand development and consistency. So now I get to work with some crazy big competitions. And like you had mentioned before, I am the social media and marketing manager for Cheer Sport Sharks, specifically for their Kitchener, Ancaster, Milton, and Ottawa location. But I also do kind of oversee the brand as a whole, which has been really cool. So I really like that I'm able to kind of combine my passion and my expertise for cheer and really put it into that marketing perspective. And I understand the sport and the marketing behind it because like I lived it. I've been a cheerleader, I've been a coach, I've been an event staff member, I've been a cheer mom now. Like I've done all of the roles. So it's easy for me to kind of incorporate that into everything that I do during the day. But yeah, there was my first ramble. I told you I was going to ramble, and there was the first one.
Rambles are totally accepted. I love it. Yeah, I agree. I think we're the same, right? Like when we started looking at offering agency services and like done for you services, one of the things I had worked at an agency beforehand and I didn't like how very off it felt. Like it wasn't personal. Right.
It's almost
and like
too
I think
selly.
that when it comes, yeah. And like not them, right? Like if it really came down to like, I have one client that like we post every year about their maple syrup. They go out and they tap trees for maple syrup, and it's a big deal for them, and they will actually give maple syrup to their clients. And I was like, why aren't we talking about this?
Yeah.
That's one of those like small little emotional things that for a lot of times it's just like, oh, yeah, we're going to work with you. And then, you get your base things and you just kind of move on. But I
Yeah.
so agree that personal touch and like
Mhm.
getting to know programs and getting to know like what is different for you than another gym. Cause like I say it all the time,
Exactly.
you can have two gyms in the same area and they're going to have two very different programs, two very different families. And being able to talk to those families is like, just it's marketing gold. Like I just love like
Yes.
all the little parts.
It all comes down to brand identity. If you have a solid brand identity, if you have a solid mission statement, solid core values, that is going to be kind of your content pillars that you can build off of. And you're right, everybody is different. Every gym is different. Every gym has different core values, whether they might be slightly similar, but they are different in a sense, right? So it's 100% a good point.
Yeah. I also think like even down to like how you celebrate skills, right? There are some
Mhm.
gyms that will show videos of skills and there's others that, have a photo with like the little whiteboard that says, I got this skill, or they put it on the wall, or right. Like each of those little moments helps that storytelling and helps you
100%.
connect with them in a different way.
Yes, exactly. I mean, realistically, when you think of social media, the goal as a social media manager and like a marketer in general is to stop the scroll. So if you are putting stuff out there that people can resonate with emotionally, they're going to stop. They're going to want to see this moment of athletes hugging at the end of a routine and it's got that awesome audio behind it. And it's just like, oh, that's so cute. Or, you're going to resonate with that kid who just learned their forwards roll, who everybody's cheering back for them and that kind of stuff too. So, like, it's important to make sure that you are showcasing those emotional moments and as well doing your advertising as well. Like, it all comes down to the funnel. The funnel at the top should always be the stop the scroll, emotional or positive moments that if people are a part of cheerleading or not are going to be interested in, right? So, that's something huge that I believe in as a marketer, especially within our industry.
Yeah. And there's so many options, like, and
Oh my
so many
gosh,
opportunities to
they're
be able to show
endless.
those, right?
Endless. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you did mention Cheer Sports Sharks. So I want to touch on that really quick.
Yes.
How did that opportunity come to be? Like, how did all, because I know it's pretty new too.
Yes. Yes. So I started my official position with them in December of last year. But prior to
Yay.
that, I was doing, oh, thank you. I still can't believe it. Like, as a small town girl from Alberta who grew up watching the cheer squad, like, it's still to this day when Allie Moffat and Alana Potter like call me or text me, I'm just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And, like, I've gotten used to it a little bit now, but it still is crazy. I still have to like pinch myself a little bit. But basically, kind of how I started, I reached out to them regarding, just doing some social media subscription services. So, creation of content that was easy and done for them. And it kind of evolved, and they had realized that that was kind of some piece that they were missing within their niche. And they really liked the work that I was doing. And I had just reached out and said, like, hey, like, if this is something you guys are interested in, like, yes, I'm from Alberta, but would love to work remote. I love the brand. I love Cheer Sports Sharks. I love everything that they stand for. And I would be more than grateful to help you guys out and jump on as this role. So I jumped in, I dived in. My first ever, like, kind of in person event for them was Chomp Down. And it's crazy. If you've ever been to a Cheer Sports Sharks Chomp Down, it is the coolest thing. Like, it is like a cheer competition, but it's chopped down. Like, it is so cool. So that's kind of how I first started in, I guess that would have been in November, kind of my first like in-person role there. And then I've been there a couple times since that as well. And I also did some work with the Rising Star Cheer Classic, which one of their staff members is actually the event producer for it. And he's also from Alberta. So he was a really big key component in opening the door and introducing me to everybody as well. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. Never would I have ever imagined that I would be employed by Cheer Sports Sharks, but here I am.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's incredible, like how much that networking and getting to know people and just having relationships makes a difference.
100%. I am such a firm believer. I have so many great relationships and friendships within the industry, whether it be other gym owners, event producers, Like, I feel like everybody kind of has an important piece of the puzzle and a important piece in my life. And I'm so grateful to have all the connections I do because, not only like with Double Up Cheer Productions, I also work for Abominable Events, and Corey and Sam are absolutely fantastic to work with. And I've had the pleasure of working with Deep Blue Athletics, who is based out of Spruce Grove. And then I've done a ton of one off stuff for various gyms across Canada and actually across the US as well for various graphic design services and that kind of stuff. So it's really been cool. Like, it's kind of come to a point to now where I have to really space out my time. And sometimes I do have to say no to projects because I just don't have the time. But like, how grateful I am to even be like have people interested. So it's been so cool. And like I said, I'm so grateful for everybody that's kind of come into my life and come into my corner and provided me with these opportunities and cheered me on along the way.
Yeah. Which I think is so important for coaches and athletes who are thinking about, do I want to go into this? What can I do right now? And right now you can start building those relationships. So like saying
True.
hi to other coaches, getting to know them. If you're in the coaches room, like go over and introduce yourself and like say like,
Absolutely.
hey, I saw your team and like they did incredible, or like, I love this skill. And like, that's just a really quick, easy way. And it's really
Yes.
important to remember, because I find, especially with younger staff members too, when you're going into a thing like a coach's room, you have to remember that those are your peers. Those are your
Hmm.
other coaches. Like, go and make those connections, go say hi, cheer each other on, because that brand that you're creating as an athlete or as a coach, the coaches and gym owners and the competition event producers, everyone like that, they're going to notice that. They're going to take like, okay, like that person was really awesome. That person came up and said hi. That person, like, always like was positive. That will follow you as you go along.
Hmm.
And like putting that foot forward and putting that really positive attitude out first is super important, and something that even just like the smallest thing takes notice.
Percent. It's hard to walk into a room full of people who you don't know, but you just need to going back to cheerleading, all right? Confidence is key. And I feel like that's something that I learned as my time as an athlete, as a coach, is you need to be confident within yourself. And if you want to go places, instill that within yourself. Walk into a room and be confident. Talk to the people. Introduce yourself. Like, you're totally right. The connections mean everything. And you know what? At the end of the day, we may wear different colors when we're at competitions and we may represent different things, but like, we are all together. Like, we are all one. We are part of this amazing community. And it's important to make those connections and be open to those connections as well.
Yeah. And I think it's so important to remember there is one thing that connects all of us, and that's the sport.
It's the
So,
love for
like,
the sport.
go back to that, right? And the love for the sport.
Exactly.
And like, everyone who's there loves the sport. So, like,
100%.
go off of that,
Bottom
right?
line. Yeah. Bottom line. Cheerleading is love. Cheerleading is
Literally. And
life.
life,
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Oh,
Now,
gosh.
okay, so you've had a lot of roles. So you talked about being an athlete, you talked about being a coach, an event staff member, you're now a
Mhm.
creative and marketing professional. Of all of those areas, what are some of the most important lessons that you've learned?
That is a great question. Wow. So, as an athlete, I would say never give up, even on your hardest days. It always gets darkest before sunrise, is kind of how I see my philosophy in that way. You are capable, if you put in the work, you are capable of following your dreams and achieving your dreams. So, that's kind of my athlete one. As a coach, I would say be open to everybody, to everything. It's so hard with an ever evolving sport, especially season to season, new teams, new athletes, new rules, new age grids, things change all the time. So being open and, being open to consistently gaining knowledge as well is important. You can't walk into a practice or into a gym thinking you know absolutely everything. So that's kind of one thing for coaching too. And then I would also say one of the biggest things that I've kind of taken away from being a coach is the relationships that I've built as well. I still have kids that, I'm shopping in Walmart and kids come up, Sarah, hi. And, it's been maybe 10 years since I've seen them and I don't remember their name, but I still give them a big giant hug. And it just makes my heart so warm that they still see me as this, person that they remember from years ago. So being, passionate and, just having the love for the sport there and coaching is kind of my big takeaway for that. As far as
I
event
love that.
staff, it is crazy sometimes. Events are a whole other ball game. You just roll with the punches, have fun, be happy, like walk around, be animated. I love being a part of events. I really like that high fast-paced environment and being able to celebrate the wins with everybody and seeing
Yeah.
all those moments. So my biggest takeaway from there is probably multitasking, I would say, for event staff. Being able to pivot really quickly and being able to support people within, the event staff roles. Someone needs something right away, you got to go run and you got to go do it or that kind of thing. So, and then as far as like a marketer, I'm going to go back to that education and knowledge piece. Marketing is again ever evolving. Meta and Mark Zuckerberg decide to change things all the time. And,
Every day.
every day there's a new update. The algorithm is consistently changing and evolving. So just really being on top of the education, being on top of what's currently working, watching your insights and, watching your performance, seeing what things work. So I would go back marketing, kind of my biggest takeaway is to be staying on top of the education and the trends and the updates because it's a lot and it's like you said, it's daily. It's daily. Things change daily. The other day, I tried to find where my scheduled posts in Instagram were, and it took me about 20 minutes because they moved it into this random place in the settings. And I was like, why? Like, why did they do this? I don't know why. I think sometimes he does it on purpose just to like give us a little extra something to do on days where we have a lot of things to do. But yeah.
Just to freshen it up, a new little perspective, right?
Yeah, perspective that takes me 20 minutes to find where a scheduled reel is in Instagram. It's great.
I had that too. I scheduled a reel and I was like, wait, where to go? I don't know.
Yeah, it took me a long time.
Yeah,
I had to chat GPT, like, where did they put this? And it's still, yeah, gosh.
I love that. I think that's what you said about going into practices as a coach. Like go in remembering that you don't know everything. And I think
Yes.
that applies like as a coach, it applies as an event producer, like every aspect of like as an athlete, I think that's super important too.
Yes,
But
100%.
as a marketing professional, that cannot be understated. Like
no, yes.
the industry is changing really fast and like the creativity even of skills. Like we talk about how there's always that gray zone in levels. I feel like that gray zone of like creativity and transitions and all these things. I'm like, I gotta refresh like every 6 weeks because someone came out with something new. And now I'm like, okay, wait, now what is happening? But with marketing, I'm literally every day I wake up and I'm like, okay, I need to check what changed. What do I need to learn today? Which for people who that like keep learning and constantly be challenged, marketing is such a good fit for those people because you are literally every day challenging, like trying to test problems, figure it out. And every day is different.
100%. My days do not look the same. You're right. Every single day is different. Every single day I learn something new or I take on a new skill or, a new task where I do have to kind of be creative and figure out a way around things and that kind of thing. So yeah, super important point.
So for coaches, athletes, and parents who are interested in the creative side of the sport, what tips do you have for them creating their own personal brand?
That is such a good question. Honestly, I would say get in there and get some education because you can open Meta Business Suite or Ads Manager, Google Business, and just be completely overwhelmed. I remember the first time I did, and I'm just like, what is this? I thought that I just had to upload a post and click post. I did not know about any of this back end stuff. So taking courses, like there's universities, Mount Royal University is one that I did through here in Calgary, here in Alberta. There's also marketing agencies that do, workshops. One of my kind of mentors and friend still to this day, his name is Joe Whitbread, and he owns Joe Social Media here in Alberta. He's based out of Lacombe, and he was kind of the pioneer in social media when it comes to marketing on that side of stuff in Alberta, if not in Western Canada or Canada. He started it years and years ago. I took some courses with him, and he's been a great asset to me over the years, just on ever evolving things. Education, for sure. There's also a ton of free stuff on YouTube. You do have to kind of check when it was published, because things that were posted on YouTube a couple years ago, regarding Meta Business Suite and Ads Manager, it's going to look completely different now. Familiarize yourself with that stuff, but there's also, it goes beyond just the platforms that you're posting on. Marketing in a sense now, especially with the ever evolving world of SEO, AEO, so AI, the ever evolving AI that's now taking into things. It's not just about posting with a caption. You need to be, including certain things like keywords. You need to make sure that your search engine is optimized and Google is happy with all the things that you're putting out there. So, really, at the end of the day, if you have a passion for it, I believe, take that step forward, get some education, familiarize yourself with that, and then you can really run with it. Like, once you have the knowledge based stuff, you can take that and you can run with it, and you can apply it to any niche. Like, it could be
Yeah.
soccer, it could be hockey, it could be dentistry, like anything that you want. If you're passionate and you're about it, and these main components of marketing, not only social media but marketing itself, you can really take it and apply it. I just chose because I love cheerleading. I live, breathe, dream, sleep cheerleading. That was kind of where I chose my niche, and it kind of just, I swam, and here I am diving in with the sharks now. So it's been good. Not to be punny or
They
anything.
we love puns here. And
Okay,
it like
cool.
every business needs marketing, right? Like we have
Yes,
one client who's a funeral home. And you don't think about funeral homes needing marketing, but they do need it.
we do. And I think that social media marketing is really, it's not seen as well as it should be. Like, I don't think that some businesses do realize how important it is. Gone are the days where, you put a radio ad on, right? Like, most people don't think of that now. They're going to post to Facebook because that is our main, like, that's your main marketing focus. And not a lot of people realize that now. So taking professional social media marketers and seeing them as professionals is something just new and just up and coming, which is so great. Like, I'm so grateful for it that people are recognizing the work behind it. So, and the importance behind it. If you're not active on socials, if you're not active and your website is not optimized, people are going to think you're out of business.
Yeah,
Really.
if you're not updated, I was actually just on another podcast and I was saying that it was the fact that in COVID was that massive switch where everyone was
Sure.
online and we were searching online. And now we've transitioned to we're going to people's Facebooks, we're going to their Instagrams to look to see if they're open. And then on top of that, now with things like ChatGPT and Claude, they are now becoming the search engines. Like Google
Yes.
used to be the number one search engine. Now ChatGPT and other AI, that is where people are looking. And your
Yes.
content and your website is getting pulled in from there.
100%, 100%. It's so crazy to see the ever evolving, AI. I went to a conference in 2022 or 2023, and they were just talking, saying, hey, this is going to be big and this is going to take over and this is going to completely change the industry. And me back then, I was like, no, it's not. Like, no, I don't, like, maybe, but it's never going to be. And now I'm like,
Yep.
dang, like, it is the forefront and it's only going to become greater, which is why everything is important and you need to make sure everything's optimized, because people do type in, best cheerleading gyms in Saskatchewan and ChatGPT, and they'll get those answers. And those answers are pulled from online and the keywords that you post in your captions and your website and your Google business and everything like that.
Yeah, there's so many different aspects to it. So for those coaches or gyms that are even parents who are kind of transitioning into a role where they want to help with marketing, like for example, what you started, here's this opportunity. I want to try it. So how can people start getting meaningful content, whether they're at the gym, they're at team bonding activities, or they're at competitions?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So because of the person I am, I literally have notes on all of this stuff because I knew that this would be a question. So I'm going to read off. And these are things that I do and that I ask staff members because yes, I do work remote and I'm managing remote. So I do have to ask people for these things. At the end of the day, you need to capture the moments that matter. And those can look, it's such a wide scale of the moments that matter. Yes, the wins are great, but you need to make sure that you're posting not just about the wins, you need to post about everything else and within that scopes. Just some quick tips for gathering meaningful content. I have behind the scenes. People love to see what goes on behind the scenes, whether that's speaking in cheerleading terms, in your warm-ups, at practices, that kind of stuff. People love to see what happens when you're not just sparkly and on the competition floor. They want to see what it looks like building up to that moment. Athlete and coach parent reactions are always great. I love the after the music stops and when the athletes go up and hug, or before the music stops and they're doing their full handshakes, or those team huddle moments at practices. I also love, the parents don't always love it when I turn the camera around on them, but I love getting parent
Yep.
reactions. I love getting coach reactions. Those are important key aspects as well to think of, like really showcasing, the cheerleaders, but the community behind it all as well. Cause yes, there's a cute little girl, little 5-year-old girl doing a cartwheel on the competition floor, but there's a whole sea of people and supporters and coaches behind that little girl too, that, it's great. And people will take that and they'll resonate with that content as well.
I like to say that our parents want their kids to join a community, but the parents also want to join a community. Like they are
Yes.
wanting that friendship just as much.
I actually just did a post on Cheer Sport Sharks and it was a letter, Dear Cheer Moms, and I did a Dear Cheer Dads too.
I
If you
saw it
haven't
was
had a
so
chance
good.
to read it, it's so good. I was sitting there typing it out and I'm like choking up typing it out because it's just like when you think about it, it's the relationships that you build. Like it's so much more than just joining a club and signing your kid up for a sport. You're making memories that are going to last a lifetime. Your children are going to, create friends and bonds that are going to last forever. Parents are going to meet people and create bonds that they're going to last forever. And, it's important to talk about those things because people just thinking, hey, going to sign my child up for cheerleading. Like we got to tell them what the ride is like. It's not just signing your child up for cheerleading. You become a part of this community. And that's what is so special about our sport too. Like, yes, I think within other sports, hockey, whatever, there is that. But I don't know. For me, I just feel like cheerleading is just like that one step more, just more of that community.
There's so many traditions and like
Mhm.
small moments, like even just like the little tunnels when they run off the stage. Those little moments I don't see as often
Mhm.
in other sports, whereas like cheerleading is such a team sport and so community driven that that bleeds off the stage, right? It's not just that moment,
Yeah.
like you said, where it's like, yeah, the lights, the camera, the sparkle, but it's everything leading up to that point.
And after, like it never stops. And you know what? As soon as that season ends, another one starts right back up. So really, it's 365 days a year when you think about it. Our sport is so great for that. I have a couple other things written down here too about content ideas and practical tips if you wanted me to share those as well.
Absolutely. Please go through them.
So I love seeing like I just got a new skill. Those are great, especially the littles and the beginner athletes. So that is one thing that I
Yes.
don't think that a lot of gyms realize is important to be posting about because it's so cool. Don't get me wrong. It's so cool to see a super cool video of an athlete doing like run up handspring whip, handspring double full, right? Like that's going to stop and get my attention. But me as a mom to a child who's maybe not in cheerleading or maybe thinking about joining cheerleading, if I see this huge celebration for this little girl who got her cartwheel, I'm going to resonate more with that because I know like, hey, my daughter, like that's probably what she would be working on. And how cool would it be if
Yeah,
she went to the
exactly.
gym and, got this skill and got to experience that moment. So highlighting, those big skills are so important, but highlighting those beginner level skills are also super important and those beginner athletes as well. So another couple things that I have here, content ideas, slow-mo is really trending right now. So like slow-mo stunts, tumbling, athlete interviews. I'm loving all the ones I'm seeing currently. I've been working with great whites and giving them just kind of some general content ideas and that kind of stuff. And that was one thing that they took and harnessed and it performed so well. Like I loved it. It's so funny when you get to see like these athletes talk about things or like be funny with each other and joke and do these fun little interviews. Day in the lives are also big. Team traditions, another kind of big thing too that you could jump in on there. That's kind of like a basis of just general to get started content ideas. And then like practical tips that I have here as well. We're in a world of vertical shooting. Gone are the days of horizontal. Everybody views content on their phone or their tablet. So I'm 9 times out of 10 always shooting vertical. As much light as possible. The brighter it is, the more better it's going to be, the more easier it is going to be to stop the scroll because it's bright, it's coming out at you, right? Like marketing 101, you want to see it. You want to see what's going on. And then going back to that emotion, capture emotion, not just the skills. At the end of the day, people connect with real moments. They don't necessarily connect with the perfection. And our sport is so based on perfection that I think it is important to, connect and show those real moments behind everything as well, because it's not perfect day one. It's not perfect day one.
No.
It takes time to get there, right? And that's something that people can resonate with. And at the end of the day, social media is social. Yes, we're marketing and yes, we're posting things, but you need to be connecting with the people on the other side of their screen and be, putting things out there that people, like I said, are going to resonate with. And think of it as like having a conversation with somebody online. Even though maybe you're posting on behalf of a brand, you still have a tone of voice, you still have a brand voice. You should still be liking and commenting back to all the comments you receive because they're going to see the person and the people behind the brand. You know what I mean? So there's another ramble for you. I told you I was going to be really good at rambling.
No, I love it. Those are all such good ways. Now, when it comes to getting all of that content and then putting it up, is there a way that you recommend storing it? Because one thing I typically hear from people is like, I don't have enough storage on my phone.
That's totally fair. This is something that I've had to learn with and really pivot with over the years because it is hard. And especially now for me working for a company that's provinces away, this is an issue that I've kind of run into. We do a lot of Google Drive. Google Drive is great. I also do a lot of iPhone shared folders. So iPhone shared folders, basically a shared album. You can upload stuff into it and delete it off your phone, and it's up in the cloud and you can re-download it when you need it. So like when I'm working events, gosh, I'm taking thousands and thousands.
So many.
Like there's so much content and my phone gets so hot and it like, you know what I mean? Your storage runs out. Kind of my process, especially when I'm working competitions and I know that I'm going to have that super high volume of content, is gather the content, categorize it correctly, input it into the correct Google Drive or iPhone shared folder. And then when I'm ready to create the content, I literally re-download what I need specifically and then edit and post from there. The one thing about iPhone shared folders that is a little tricky is you can film things, in 4K. And you can upload it via that way. But when you re-download it back in iPhone shared folders, it does kind of condense it a little bit. So if you're looking for the really high quality videos and to keep that consistency, I recommend Google Drive. But again, with both of those, staying on top of making sure everything is categorized properly. Don't just have a folder that says, cold snap and have thousands of stuff in there. Like really categorize it into like event one or this team or award session or whatever stuff, so it's easily findable as well. So I guess just being organized, downloading on the fly, multitasking, that's it right there.
As someone who also does marketing for a gym that is provinces away, I've been loving the app called Photo Circle, very similar to like the share files. They get a link to it, they download it, all the staff can be in it as well and they can upload it. And then I get the same quality on my phone too, and I get a notification, which is really nice.
I will be downloading that app immediately after we finish this because
I will send you a link for it so you'll know which one it is.
Please do. That is great to hear. There's so much stuff out there too, and it's hard. Like you can do Google Photos. There's so many options out there, but you really just want to simplify it and what's easiest. So I'm excited. Thank you for sharing that. That's what I learned today. Thank you.
Another one added to the list. So we talked about, all these different things that you did. And I think it's really cool because you've done so many things in the industry. So being
Mhm.
able to look at it like when you're doing marketing for an event company, now you're looking at it like from an athlete perspective, from a parent perspective, the coach's side, which I think really helps you when you're providing content to people. But
Mhm.
if you weren't doing your current role or any of those roles, what other role in cheerleading or in youth sports would you want to do?
Oh my gosh, coaching. I have such a passion for coaching. Started, like I said, when I was like 14 years old. It is such a passion of mine. I love, connecting with kids. I love developing athletes and being that person for them. And I've had so many great impactful moments throughout my coaching career. I did sadly have to take a step back this year. I'm from Alberta, I'm, of course, typical oil field family over here. My husband works in the oil field and works away, is only home about 4 days out of the month, and I have two children. So it was getting
Yep.
significantly hard to be able to spread myself out across all areas. So I did have to take a step back in that this year. And I really have found myself missing it so, so much. And I know that I'll be back coaching one day. So if I could literally do that, and I always ask, like I always joke with my friends and with, other people within the industry that if you ever find a cloning machine, please let me be the first person that you clone because I would love to be able to be in 5 places at once. So, yeah.
So agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is for the people who are passionate about coaching, I find it's the same. Like I took 8 years off and I came back and then I was like, how did I do this? How did I take this time off? Because just like it is the highlight of my week to be able to like see them and see their progress. And also they're so funny. Like
I know.
the kids, like the things they come up with, I'm like, how did you do that?
Yeah. No, I love that. And I know we had chatted earlier too about tinies. I have like such a soft spot in my heart. I've always worked with the littles. Last year, I had the opportunity to coach my daughter's team, which was a little bit of a challenge in itself, right? But it was so great. Like, we had such a fantastic season. It's a season that I'm going to hold near and dear to my heart. Like, these little U8 little girlies were totally rocking it and had multiple first place wins in some really tough divisions. And I'm just like so proud of them. And then like also being a parent as well. It was just so great. Like I said, I love coaching. I love meeting the kids and developing, the relationships not only with the kids but with the parents as well. It's another big thing. So if I could do all the things, I would do all the things.
Right? Wouldn't that be lovely? I say the same thing about a time machine. I'm like, if you
Mm-hmm.
or like teleportation, I'm like, if you can teleport
Mm-hmm.
me, that'd be awesome because like I need to be here and then there in like 5 minutes in order to do what I
Yeah.
want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. There
Go
was
ahead.
one year where I was wearing all of these hats, and you're going to laugh so hard. So I was coaching, I was a cheer mom, I was an event staff member, and then I was also doing social media for the event as well as social media for the cheer gym. And I was an athlete
Yep.
on a team. So there was one
Yep.
year I did that and I ran myself so dry and so into the ground. I don't even know how I did it. I did it. But yeah, that season made me realize that I can't wear 8 hats. I need to pick like
Yes.
2 or 3 and go from there. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally agree. I know I wish there was more time in the day because I have
Mhm.
so much love and passion for so many things. And if I had more time, I could do them. But really prioritizing, like, okay, what do I need today? What do I need in this point in my life has
Mhm.
been very eye opening of like, okay,
It's
nope,
hard.
let's take a pause for a second.
Yeah, and setting those boundaries too, like it's hard. It's hard. That's just something I've learned in the last couple years too. Like, hey, it's okay to say no. Like, you don't need to do absolutely everything, even though I want to. I want to do everything is the problem, but you can't. You can't.
100% agree. Okay, so my last question is if you were to think about your 16-year-old self who's like loving cheerleading and loving her life, what do you wish someone would have told you to help you pursue a career in the sport?
What a great question. That's so great. It almost makes me like emotional to think about myself back in that day because what a different person I was back in that day. I would just say back to myself, like, believe in yourself. Like, you are so capable and so strong and so smart, and you can do anything that you want if you put the work in. and you really believe in yourself and you have the right people in your corner. I guess that's what in layman's, I could probably sit here and ramble for 20 minutes about that, but like me cutting it off and making it short, that's kind of what I would say. And it's what a great question. Thank you for that. It's
Yeah,
something
you're
great to like
welcome.
think back on. I really like that.
It's always like I always think about it like 16-year-old me would have been so proud of where I am. And I don't think that sometimes we take that moment to be like, look at all the things that we've accomplished and look at what we've done, especially in this sport, like you said, where it's like it's perfection. We're pushing for the next skill, we're pushing for the next competition, that next win. But
Mhm.
at one point, you need to just pause and be like, wait, how much have I progressed? Like, how much have I done? How much have I gotten to experience that I
Mm.
never thought would have been possible? Like, 15 years ago or so.
If I could go back in time and whisper into 16-year-old me's ear that like, hey, you're going to become like a cheerleading marketing professional and you're going to work with one of the largest cheerleading franchises in Canada, if not the world, and you're going to become an employee for them and you're going to be like head of marketing. I think that 16-year-old Sarah would probably pass out and hit the floor. Like, I think at that time, 16-year-old me, I was still watching Cheer Squad. I was still watching Ali on TV and I was still doing all that stuff. So it's still crazy. I still have those pinch me moments, but I just feel, like I said, so grateful for everybody who's been a part of my journey and who's encouraged me along the way and who's kind of opened these doors. And I still think like I'm not done. I'm still going to go up from here. We're still on the up and up. And I still believe that, I can still grow as a professional and it's just going to be great. I'm super excited for the future.
I love that. Well, I think that's a
Yeah.
perfect way for us to end our episode. So
Yay.
make sure to check back. And thank you so much, Sarah, for being able to join us for this one.
Yay.
I can't wait to share this episode. I think there's so many different things that are just going to resonate with so many people. So excited for this episode to come out. But make sure to check back for our next episode where we'll be answering the question, what happens after the music stops?